This video is sponsored by Squarespace. It's late summer in Denmark, and I'm out to do nature photography together with my dog Bjørn and my good friend Simon. The goal in this trip is not to photograph anything specific, but rather capturing the beauty of this season with all its flowers, the grasses, the landscapes, and the interesting cloud formations. And last but not least, just spending some day out there, sleeping under open sky, making food on the fire, and just enjoying being in nature. Ja. The next day, in the early morning, we moved to a location a little further north. It had a beautiful little lake surrounded by forest, meadow and wetlands, and we decided to stay here a few days. When the rain stopped, it was time to get out and explore the area. These woodlands were so beautiful, and after the rain, everything seemed so fresh. There was no wind, and everything was quiet, and the water on the little lake was just like a mirror. What a beautiful day to do nature photography. It was a little hard to do landscapes over there because the foreground was so dark compared to the skies. But now I decided to try to do some time lapse instead. I'm just taking a bunch of photos, 4 seconds between each of them, and then a fairly long shutter speed to get a little motion blur in the final little movie, just to show the movements of the skies. And it's really beautiful up there. Some very dark and then a little lighter white, a little blue. It looks good. After the morning's photo trip, it was time for a cup of coffee and just sit down enjoying this beautiful landscape. It is late summer, almost autumn, and we don't hear all the birds that we do in the spring. Nature seems so quiet. It's like getting ready for a long winter here in Denmark. But it's still beautiful. And it's so awesome to see how these different shades of green changes into almost like a dusty gray. Now, it's time to get a fire started so we could dry all our wet clothes.
Hey! That was really nice with the swim, and we have been cutting down some dead trees for the fire, and the shelter is nice, and that is good because now it's starting to rain. And little Björn has been out. Hey! And that was nice to get some of the sweat cleaned off. Det ser godt ud, hva'? Ja, flot. Der langer jeg lige et par stykker over til dig. Er god, hva'? Ja, han er rigtig. this evening is just incredibly beautiful. The day has been rain and sun and rain and sun, mostly rain and a little bit of wind, but now here after we had our dinner it has just calmed down completely, and then like the mist was rolling in over the lake here, and it's absolutely like it's so phenomenal, so epic out here. So now we're just having a good time with 1,000 of mosquitoes, trying to capture this beautiful evening. So and then we'll try to keep quiet, so hopefully a deer or something will come.
The sky puts on the darkness, blue cold, hell forever, a row of ancient trees. You watch, and the lands grow distant in your sight. One journey into heaven, one that falls and leaves you not at home in either one, not quite so still and dark as the darkened houses, not calling to eternity. The passion of what becomes a star each night and rises and leave you. The passion of what becomes a star each night and rises. The sky puts on the darkness, blue cold, hell forever.
That was a really nice trip, and in this behind the scenes I just want to go through the outdoor equipment and bushcraft tools that I always bring in my photo bag when I plan on staying more than one day in nature, so that I'm prepared to sleep under open sky regardless the weather. I also want to talk a little about my vlogging equipment that I used for making this video, including like sound recording and stuff like that. So yeah, I want to pour myself a cup of coffee and then it's time to get started.
Before we move on, I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace lets you build professional looking websites without any knowledge about coding and web design. You simply choose one of the many great looking templates, and by dragging and dropping photos and changing the text and colors, you can make it your own. You can create beautiful galleries to showcase your work, and it's very easy to update the gallery with your latest photos. It also has built-in e-commerce, so you can start selling your prints, calendars and digital products. So if you need a new website, head over to squarespace.com to start your 14 days free trial. And you can use the off code Morten Hilmer to get 10% off your first purchase. I've put a link in the description.
You have probably already seen a lot of these things in the video, but there are also some things you haven't seen, like the hammock with the underquilt, stuff like that. So I thought it was a good time just to show you what I actually bring on these trips, and also talk a little about the vlogging camera, microphones, like equipment I use for making the actual video. So let's just start from one end, and like when I go out, I think like this. Like first of all, what time of year is it? Is it cold or is it warm? But now in this video, I just want to concentrate on now, which is late summer. It's probably 10 degrees Celsius during the night and between 20 and 25 during the day. And my equipment is suited for that purpose only. But when I go out, I think like, what do I actually need to first of all give me a shelter so I can be sheltered from rain and wind and cold. Second, what do I need to make a fire? What do I need to get something to eat and something to drink? Because when I have these 4 things, I'm good and I can stay out for pretty long. Second, I think like what is nice to have and what is need to have. What is the absolute minimum? Because first of all, I have to carry everything on my back, so I do not want to bring things that are not necessary. Second, I need room for it in my backpack, in my photo backpack. When I go on longer trips, you've probably maybe seen that I use a bigger military backpack, and that is when I need food and stuff like that for, let's say, 6 or 7 or 8 days. But this is the minimum I bring, and let's just go through it. This is my shelter. In this video we actually used like wooden shelters because they were there, but I do not want to depend on sleeping on a campsite. I want to be able to sleep wherever like there is a good location, a beautiful location. So this is basically 3 things. It's a tarp that I can use as a standalone tarp just to shelter from the rain. Underneath the tarp is the hammock. I'll make a little closer look. And underneath the hammock here is this is the hammock with a fly thing, so the mosquitoes do not bite me. And underneath is a a down underquilt. And I really like bringing the tarp because when all this is packed down, it feels like this much, and it can easily be in my photo bag. And I do not need an even ground. I do not need to care about the snails, and they are really annoying. And I'm also sheltered from mosquitoes. So here I have like a really good solution, and yeah, it's just really nice. And as you have probably seen, or maybe seen in the Badger movie, I used this also as a little photo blind where I could sleep. Compared to a tent, there are a few reasons why I like this. First of all, when I sleep in a tent, because I'm not 12 years old any longer, I sometimes wake up with a little sore back, or I have had a bad sleep if I do not bring a big sleeping mat. And if I bring a big sleeping mat, it is usually quite heavy and quite big if there should also be some insulation in it. Second, when I sleep on the ground, I need a thicker and warmer sleeping bag compared to this, where I have this down underneath in the underquilt. That are the 2 main reasons. Second, if I want to bring a tent and a sleeping mat and a good sleeping bag, it is much bigger than this one when it's packed. And also, I do not have the same kind of room as I have underneath this, and it's not as versatile, or what is the word for when you can use it for multiple things. This one can also just be a shelter where I can have my fire just outside, and I have plenty of room to sit and work. So I absolutely love this. The brand of this one is called Warbonnet, and this is I think it's called the XLC. I don't know actually. I'll write it in the description. It's the Blackbird XL hammock with a down underquilt. It is just brilliant. So that one I always have in my photo bag just in case. Then the equipment I have here, I said I need shelter, then I need fire, and to make fire I need to be able to cut down some trees. Always like dead trees. I never like cut down the fresh trees just to make a fire. But in this video we found like a completely dead tree. We cut it down, and for that purpose I have like one of these silky, this is a Gumboy silky saw. It's very light, it fills up nothing. It can be in the side pocket of my photo bag, and that is just extremely sharp. So I bring a saw and I bring an axe, just a little handy axe. because the axe I can also use if I lose my knife for some reason. I can cut with it, I can slice a little with it. It's very easy to take off branches and do a little work like making the poles pointy, like in the video. Then I have my knife, just a cheap, or kind of cheap Moro knife, nothing special about that. Plastic handle, plastic thing here, not the most aesthetic and what to say, pretty thing, but it does the job. And this is the knife I have brought on most of my expeditions because it's just doable, it's really sharp and it almost can't break. Then I have a little bit of fat wood, which is basically pine. I found it from the roots of the pine tree, and I just cut it up and sliced it, and it's basically wood full of resin. So then you can slice small pieces of this, and either alone or in combination with birch bark, it's very easy to start a fire even in wet condition. So that is basically my fire kit here, and of course matches. Matches I always have wrapped in plastic, so that even though everything gets soaked, I still have dry matches, and I can get this resin thing to start the fire. I have a little string, spare string for different purposes, like putting up the tarp and stuff like that. And then I have a little pot here that I can use for boiling water, and I can use it to drink. And talking about drinking, time to fill up a little more coffee. In the video we used the Simon's Jet Boil, and that is really good for, especially for the summer, because it is very easy to start. It's basically like my gas stove in the house. I'm sitting in my garden now, by the way, but it's just to turn on the gas and ignite, and then you have it. The one I use most of the time is basically just because it's a habit for me. It's the one I always use on trips and expedition. Is like MSR Whisper Light, with this kind of guy. It's basically very simple too. The only thing about this is it takes a little more to get used to. You have to be a little more careful so you don't leak this liquid in the tent or in the hammock or some place like that. Just have to be a little more careful and know a little more what you're doing. And it's a little more slow to use because it has to preheat and stuff like that. But I think because I'm used to it, I just really like it. But as I said, for summer trips like this, jet boil would probably be a better solution. Then I'm able to actually either boil my water on the fire, or I can boil it on this one if I do not want to start a fire. Then I have a headlamp just for the dark, for the evening. I have some spare food. This is the real turmel. You have maybe seen that on some of my expedition videos to the Ellesmere Island, Norway, stuff like that, Svalbard. And that is just nice to have in the photo bag because I can always prepare a really good meal. I have my first aid kit. This is a small one because it's just for the shorter trips close to civilization. And there's everything I need to remove ticks, or if I cut myself or things like that, painkillers and that. Then, of course, my coffee flask, and one or two or three of these with either these or the Nalgene that we used in the video, just for bringing water and putting water from the streams, like filling up water from the streams. And then luxury for Björn. I bought him a little, I don't know what it's called in English, but one of these, because when it's getting a little cold at night, and especially at winter, it's nice for him to also be sheltered. And then he sleeps with me in there. My sleeping bag, let me take that out, is I call him Kermit because it's really green. It's a down sleeping bag. It goes down to like -12 or something, or extreme, that means like probably -0 or -1. And I'm a warm sleeper, so I do not need that warm sleeping bag. So I can sleep with this down to -10-ish when I'm in the hammock. When I'm on the ground, because you put your weight down and press it down, make it flat. If I do not have a very thick insulated mat,
I need a warmer for the winter, but for the hammock, this is good. And then I can use a warmer under quilt. Let's put it in there. The reason why I like the down sleeping bags are just it's a better comfort when I sleep, because it's easier for the body to breathe, and it's lighter and it packs down much smaller. Just have to avoid them getting wet. That was most of the outdoor equipment. Now let's try and talk a little about the camera equipment I brought. I brought my tripod with my ball head, because that is best for most purpose. When I use my video head with a liquid dampening, resistant, it's really good for the big telephoto lens, but it's really not good for making close-up photography and stuff like that. It's not good for landscape either. So my ball head, this is the really right stuff, BH55. That is probably the one I used for most purposes. Also because, as I've shown in other videos, when I put on my lens here, I can actually let it come down here and use it as a gimbal. So that is really good. And then for the camera lens this trip, I used my Nikon Z MC and with 105mm the new MC 2.8 macro lens. And that is really nice. And then my Nikon 200 to 500mm lens. I think this is really, I really like this little combination here, because I can do some landscape with this guy. I can do the close-up photography, and then I have also this one for landscapes and wildlife and bird photography. And then I have the 24 to 70 sitting on my vlogging camera, which is a Nikon Z6, and this is the one that is filming right there. And sometimes when I need to do bigger landscapes, I just take that lens off the vlogging camera and use it for the landscapes. So that way I do not have to carry a lot of unnecessary gear. You've probably seen that I use this microphone sometimes on top of the camera, and that is because when I'm making the video that you're watching now, I need also a little of the soundscape around me. So when I photograph something, the forest, the rain, it is not really nice not to have the sound, and I like to have the sound from that location. So this is where I use the Rode microphone. Either I use the Rode VideoMic Pro or I use this Rode VideoMic NTG. And the reason why I like this one is because I can actually move this a little bit like so it does not stick out on the back of the camera when I need to put my eye on there. So this is the reason why I use that. It also have a quite good preamp, so I don't get a lot of the shh sound on my recordings. It's the same microphone I use on the vlogging camera, so I have two of these microphones. That means that first of all I have a spare if I destroy one by rain or something like that, and I also have one for both the vlogging camera and for the one I use for actual photography. So, and I have my binocular. I think that was basically it. Anything I forgot? Maybe one thing I forgot? I did. My ND filter, it goes from 2 to 5. These are the Polar Pro. What is this? Peter McKinnon edition. That is when I photograph in its sunlight. I need to get some slower shutter speeds on the vlogging camera, and then I use this guy. Voila. That was it for this time. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I have some exciting plans ahead of me, but you will probably see that on this channel. So yeah, that was it. See you out there. Er du blevet træt? Hva? Er du blevet træt? Hva? Er du blevet træt, lille ven?